the jokes we would have.
I'm sure.
I just got to say this, and then I think we can leave it at that, okay?
Okay.
What can Brown do for you?
And now, Cheese Wits.
Bonjour, me lady.
Well, hello. When did you get to be all French?
Bonjour, me lady. I don't know why I feel like I've been drinking alcohol.
Have you been?
No, I've been doing meth, but not alcohol.
Oh, okay. I mean, your teeth look good, though.
That's so good. That's always what I think.
That's been my input for the day. I'm out.
That's always what I think when I see people with like a gnarly teeth. What
Meth?
Drug are they on?
There's a guy on TikTok who he refers to this woman. He sees her frequently, and apparently she's a drug user who begs for money, like outside the grocery store or Walmart or whatever. He calls her Methany. Methany.
I call those people raisin tooth. They always look like they've got like fucking raisinettes stuck in their teeth.
You know, none of those people on Breaking Bad had bad teeth. I don't know if they were being very realistic on that show.
Oh, they were using meth with fluoride. It's a different thing.
Okay.
It's entirely different.
The rich folks meth.
It's a city program.
Yeah.
It's a city program. Back when I was a kid, what a transition. What the fuck?
When I was a kid.
Back when I was a kid.
We had fluoride in our meth and we liked it.
Well, so I was growing up in Worcester, Massachusetts. And so we had city water, one of the places where we had city water, and they started putting fluoride in the water. Ma, you would have thought they were fucking poisoning people.
Yeah.
They were just, people went fucking batshit crazy. Oh my God, the government's involved in our lives. They're trying to save our teeth. Oh. It's fucking dummies.
Well, I mean,
you know what would be great?
Fast forward to today and how people react to anything the government says.
Anything anybody fucking says.
Yeah.
But remember years ago, fuck, I feel so old when I say shit like this. But remember years ago, hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Chris calling for Gail.
Gail!
Remember
Avon calling.
Years ago when we were sort of told that when you went to the movies, they would have smell-o-vision and all that sensory bullshit.
What, are you watching the Kentucky fucking Fried Movie? Remember that shit?
We were we were talking about
meth.
Right quick, we had just mentioned meth and the government program to put fluoride in meth.
Because the people on Breaking Bad didn't have bad teeth.
So they were using government-sponsored meth.
Aren't you glad you joined us today, Chris?
Perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
And then that led to meth in the water in Worcester, Mass. Fluoride in the water.
They were going to put meth in the water, and people were all up in arms about it for some reason.
So they were putting fluoride in the water. People went fucking nuts, and that made me think of. Could you imagine if right now while we're talking, you can actually smell what each other smells like? Like if you could smell if I had really bad breath right now or something.
Yeah, no, I would pass on that idea immediately.
Or if you had, your anal spray.
Have you been around people who just have fucking just breath that's so fucking bad it makes you gag?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have, and you look and you can fucking tell they have never seen a fucking dental floss ever because they've got no cracks between their teeth. They've got like this fucking film. Like it looks like they're wearing a mouth guard, top and bottom, but it's just really rotten, nasty plaque.
There's this episode of Family Guy that you need to see where Ellen DeGeneres has somebody on his show. I forgot what it is. One of the comedians, one of the fat guy comedians. And he's like, so tell me about your movie. Is it fresh? And you can see the smell coming out of Ellen's mouth. You can just see it across the screen. And the guy's like, what the fuck are you doing?
I bet she does have bad breath.
Ellen?
Yeah, I bet she does.
Why would you think that?
I just think she does. I find her to be just a mean-spirited human being.
Ellen DeGeneres?
Ding, ding. Yes.
Yeah,
Really?
she just looked like to me. My mean dar goes off when I see her. Or when I listen to her, she just looks like one of those kinds of
all those
persons.
people in her production company complaining about her. She's a bitch on wheels.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Listen,
But my own sense is that she's a mean bitch.
having been referenced as a bitch on wheels myself, unfairly, because
Here it comes.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself right now. I am not a bitch.
Here it comes. Unfairly, I might add.
Unfairly. No, listen. There's a guy who's dead now. We talk about him a lot around here.
Now that was a bitch on wheels.
He filed a harassment complaint against me. Not sexual harassment, just the regular kind. Because, and I probably mentioned this, because I would not let him take time off to go to a football game instead of working the fair that we all had to work for 9 days out of every year. This fair had been on the schedule for 9 months at that point.
That schedule's been on the schedule for about 100 years.
Yeah. So because I stood up and said, no, you cannot do this, and I didn't say fuck you, and I didn't say go fuck yourself, you knew better. I said, I'm really sorry, but this has been on the schedule and we don't have enough staff to cover. So unfortunately, no, you can't miss your shift at the fair to go to a football game. I was written up for being a bad boss. Regularly for me behaving the same way any male PD has ever behaved in the history of radio, I was a bitch on wheels. So I don't believe all of the shit Ellen's employees,
Well, but it's women
disgruntled
saying that
employees.
about her. Because
Yeah.
she primarily had a female.
You don't think
staff.
women can internalize misogyny?
Oh,
You don't think women can be
misogyny?
pissed
She's
off?
a woman. Can she be misogynistic?
Huh?
Can she be misogynistic? She's a woman.
If you internalize misogyny, you can.
Okay.
I believe that.
I'm
just saying. I don't believe everything that I.
No, I don't either. But in my own take on her, just looking at her, watching her demeanor,
based on not knowing her at all.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. just like any of us would when you see somebody from afar, you go, that does not look like a person I'd want to have to know. It's your first impression.
Yeah.
It's just my first impression is that's a bitch.
Okay.
Or that's a mean person. My first impression of David Letterman is, hey, it is a kind of a good guy.
You think he can't be a bitch? Because I mean, there are people who complain about him too.
I bet he can, because part of my feeling is that anybody who has attained a high rank in their profession has had to step on some heads on the way up, and has absolutely, just like probably unfairly, Ellen DeGeneres, anybody who's reached a plateau of that area has stepped on heads or has pissed people off, or people think they're being unfairly treated. So yeah, absolutely, some of the shit people say.
Look, if it's anything to you, I've always thought you were a bitch. So it's fine.
Okay, that's fair.
But you're tolerable.
As long
you're
as
one of those tolerable
I'm
bitches.
a tolerable bitch. Okay,
Right,
that's
you're
good.
a tolerable bitch because you also bring good stuff with you.
Oh, that's good. I have some good news.
Tell me what you sold the house.
I sold my house.
Oh,
You
yeah.
did.
I got 2 full price offers on the same day.
Nice.
Full price. Well, one of them was $5,000 less, but the terms of that one were better for me, so we countered and they gave us full price. And so we're closing the end of March if all of
Good for you.
inspections and everything go well. And I put an offer on the house I wanted, and they accepted my offer, and that closes the day after this one closes. And
the no armed lady house.
Yeah. The house next door to the no arm lady.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, Can you imagine the fucking content we're going to get out of that, Wally? Can you hold on, can you put your finger on it? She can't.
Well, I'm going
Boom.
So I'm going to tell you something I used to do. This is really horrible.
Oh, here we go.
Shit.
And I'm worried that they may actually listen to the podcast at some point.
Well, I won't tell the
Probably
New
not.
Arm lady that we have a podcast.
I worked with somebody, and I'm not going to say in what profession in radio, and they had their partner was missing a hand, and for Christmas, I decided it was a good idea to give them one glove.
Oh my God.
No, you didn't.
I didn't do it, but it was an ongoing joke for a long time.
Wow.
And it still gets brought up in a private circle now and again.
How are those flames in hell, Wally?
I know, it's so terrible of me. I really, but God damn it, funny's funny. It just does. Listen, as people who are funny, or people who make a living out of funny. Now, I don't make a living out of funny, but I think I'm funny sometimes. You pick on anything you can pick on, whether it's fucking missing limbs or a glass eye or a fucking hair lip or whatever it is. You know, me and my bad fat belly or whatever. You go after it because that's where the funny lives. The funny doesn't live in perfect locations. There's nothing funny about Hawaii.
There is.
It's beautiful.
I'm sure there is.
There's funny things about Hawaii.
But not the palm trees and the great weather.
Well, you're right. You're not going to hear somebody, hey, just hear what the palm tree said to the coconut on Oahu? No, you're not going to hear that joke.
No. But when fucking here the other day, it was minus 40 degrees.
I was going to ask you about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, trying to get the heat, we had the heat set at 80. It would not get above 62 in the house.
Wow.
Hello for heat pumps.
It was so fucking cold. And the wind was just hammering the house, hammering us.
That's insane. I would never live somewhere again where that happens.
Again.
I grew up in upstate New York. It's not quite that bad, but
it's very isolated. It's such an isolated, you got to think about living you got to think about living where the Chinese balloon was, somewhere like in Billings, Montana. It gets motherfucking cold there, and the wind is fucking horrendous.
One of my friends is a manager up there, cluster of stations. I don't know where you are in the state. He's in Portland. And I asked him, Phil, how cold is it up there? He said, my tits could cut a mirror. I'm like, okay.
Diamond nipples.
Meanwhile,
sounds like a James Bond character.
Diamond nipples, that was actually my air name when I was in Nashville.
I think that girl used to work at Spanky's club down around the corner.
Hey, everybody, Diamond Nipples here with you. We're going to have some telefunny coming up. Forecast high of 30.
So the Chinese balloon. Oh, go ahead. Tell us about that. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, meanwhile, I have a friend who we were trying to plan a time to get dinner this past week. And on Sunday, she texted me and said, we're supposed to get sleet, so maybe we should reschedule for next week. She wouldn't make a plan for the entire week because there was supposed to be some kind of weather on Monday or Tuesday.
Well, you fuckers don't know how to handle it down there.
No, we don't. But I was like, bless your little Southern heart.
But it's the cocks. It's the cocksuckers who deliver the news and the weather.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those fucking everything is a storm center. Everybody, as soon as you see them with their fucking sweater vest on in the morning, it's fucking storm center.
God, you know you're bad when it's the Fox 5 Scarecast coming on.
That's fucking. You know what it's.
I told you guys about Dave Friedman in Wichita, Kansas.
It's never anything we haven't seen. It's not like a fucking unbelievable. Oh, we're gonna get 3 inches of snow. It's time for a storm center. The fucking fancy music and nobody's wearing a tie that day. Everybody's in some sort of sweater or an Oxford unbuttoned or some shit, wearing khakis.
Hey, knock on wood, not a fucking inch here yet this year. Nothing.
Wow, we've had
Nothing
more than
this
that.
winter. Yeah, you've had more than we've had.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have much in the
nothing.
beginning of the year.
Yeah, I remember you saying that you needed snow up there, Wally.
Yeah, we did, but now we've had. I think let's see.
How your tourists like it now? Negative 40 degrees.
We had 16 inches, then we had 10 inches, then we had another 10 inches, and then we had a sleet rain day, and then we had the minus 40.
By the way, I like your Christmas decorations behind you.
Oh, I won't take them. We won't take those down.
Ever?
No, they're staying up.
Okay.
Well, why not? Well, we only use this.
I'm not judging.
It's an early start.
It only gets used during Christmas as a family space, or when I'm in here doing office stuff. And I like Christmassy things. And you can turn on the tree anytime you want. And
I know
considering
some
the amount
people
of meth
decorate their tree for every holiday of the year. They keep the tree up and put up Valentine's decorations and St. Patrick's Day decorations and Halloween.
Really?
Yeah. 4th of July.
You know what? I know people like that too, and I call them lazy. Okay,
no. Listen, when you're lazy, you just leave the Christmas decorations on it the whole year, which is why I was too lazy to put up Christmas decorations at all, because I knew I would have to take them back down again.
Well, I think that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to get different toppers. So I'll get a Valentine topper and just change the topper.
There you go.
I'll get a little leprechaun.
Can't wait to see what you put on top of the tree for fucking the ass day. That's going to be a fun one. Man.
When do you celebrate that, Chris?
Every day, Jess. Every day.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's no hiatus there for Chris on that.
No, not at all. 368 days a fucking year I'm getting plowed in my bunghole.
So, listen, I just wanted to say that when we mentioned Montana, that the balloon they shot down, I think they shot it down over Alaska, right?
No, they shot it down over South Carolina, over the water next to Myrtle Beach.
Oh,
that's what I thought.
It made it from Montana to South Carolina.
It made it from Montana to Tennessee to North Carolina to South Carolina, and then off the coast of Myrtle Beach, they finally shot the fucker down.
Well, it really sounds like they were just looking for good barbecue.
They could have been. Mm-hmm. They could have been.
North Carolina, South Carolina, there's some good barbecue there.
Oh, my God. All the hypotheses. People are like, oh, it's full of COVID-3. And they're going to dump it everywhere.
Jesus Christ.
Full of COVID-3. What the fuck are you talking about?
Consider this. The fucking plane they shot it down with, an F-22 Raptor. Yeah. That's a $210 million plane.
With a $300,000 missile that took it down.
$80,000 missile to take down a $30 balloon.
You're going to tell me one of these cocksuckers in North Carolina or South Carolina couldn't gotten there, hey, watch this, gone out and gotten it.
Of course
at first I thought that's actually what happened, is that somebody was like, I'll get it.
No, they should have farmed it out. Why the government doesn't farm it out, I don't know.
I know.
We have an armed militia.
The 30-6 could have taken that motherfucker down.
Mm-hmm.
The best meme that I've seen on this thing is the balloon floating over somebody's house, and then they zoom in on it, and they zoom in on it again, and they zoom in on it for the last time. And on the balloon, it says, we've been trying to contact you about your car warranty.
Or one of those like, hey, do you want to sell your house? I actually got another one of those texts from somebody who obviously wasn't paying attention to the fact that my house was actually for sale. And it said, I've contacted you before. Are you interested in selling your house yet? And so this time I actually responded and said, sure, $500,000, no contingencies, cash only. For some reason, they didn't respond. I don't know.
Oh, so let me ask you this about the selling of your house. Did you celebrate? Did you go like, yes, I know you said you were going to go get dinner with a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So is that a consideration? And are you going to pack, or are you going to hire somebody?
I will probably pack, but I will hire somebody to do the moving, which I've done. And I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever paid somebody to do the moving for me.
I always hire somebody to pack, and then I get a U-Haul. And I call a company to come and pack up the U-Haul. Then I drive it, and then I have somebody unpack the U-Haul. And then the boxes, well, there's still a lot of full boxes, really.
Yeah, yes. That's a really good idea.
Go to the U-Haul website. It's all there.
No kidding. Okay. You hire the people through the U-Haul website?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it, because the shit always gets this. The stories you read about, the horror stories, are always in the transportation.
Yeah.
Not of the loading or the unloading. It's always in the fucking transportation of the shit.
I mean, the transportation of my shit is going to be approximately a mile.
Yeah, well, but it doesn't matter. Because it'll be a big Mayflower truck that, well, we've got 3 more orders and yours is the middle one. So we got to take out this one to deliver that one, to do this one, to do that one.
No,
that's horseshit. I mean, if you're local, usually you don't run into that. But if you're using, God, what was that company that I saw one time? 3 guys in a stolen truck, something like that. And, they're moving somebody from Maryland to North Carolina, which was me one time. And that's why I never do it like that again. Oh, yeah, we got to stop off in Richmond and get that first load out of the back of the truck, and we're going to have to charge you an unloading fee. And I said, I motherfucking dare you to charge me an unloading fee. I will come and I will fuck your family. Okay? Don't say that you're going to charge me another fucking fee. I swear to God.
Yeah, it's a racket. We just had, there's certain things that are rackets. And it's terrible to say this about the folks who don't run a racket, but the moving companies that move you across, those guys, many of them are rackets.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And towing companies. We just had a towing guy here who was arrested. He was towing cars illegally, then charging people ungodly amounts to get their vehicles out.
Oh, I saw that on the TV.
That's infuriating.
And he was arrested But hundreds of thousands of dollars these guys run with.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, hundreds. My son's vehicle got towed one time, and it was just there, I think, 2 days. It was $420.
Jesus.
That sounds about
Sunday,
right.
And they wouldn't take credit card. They would only take cash. So
because
what does that
they have to
tell you?
pay a fee on the credit card, and so that's infuriating too.
Also, because credit cards get reported as income, and cash is cash.
Oh, yeah.
Cash is king. Cash is king.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, I don't think like a criminal, so I wouldn't think those things.
No, but you have to think that way sometimes. Sometimes you have to look at people like you look at Ellen DeGeneres and say, no, not a good person. That's just the way it goes. You knew I was going to come back around. You knew I was going to get a jab in there.
Yep.
You knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, they do. Don't they have, Chris? Aren't there like 3 Navy warships searching the waters?
Yeah, they're over there looking for the debris.
They're looking for the debris. They're looking for the string because it came off little Vicky's hand and she lost her balloon.
Well, no, they said that this thing is the size of 3 school buses.
Really?
Yeah.
If you can believe that. 3. That's why they didn't want to shoot it down over land.
It's could you imagine walking along and all of a sudden the big condom falls on you? What the
You're just looking at it going, oh my God.
You're not getting away from that. When you look up and you see that big fucking piece of latex coming down on your head, you're done.
Remember the last time I had latex come on my head? Jesus Christ. It was not a good show for anyone.
Somebody's in fine form today.
I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday that I am. So I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to it or not because I have.
Why would you?
Well, I've got a lot of old person pains. I'm not really old person. I'm not old, but I'm feeling just my muscles and bones are hurting. And, it's a man thing a lot, I think. It might just be a people thing that you think if you don't mention it to the doctor, you can't be harmed by it.
Are you going to talk to him about you pissing all over the floor?
Yeah, my doctor's a she.
Okay, so
and I probably will not talk to her about my penis at all.
Hey, see, I made that mistake one time. I was at the diabetes doctor, and this woman, German woman, a fucking hefty German woman, says, "Have you had a physical?" I said, "Well, no, not in several years." "Well, let's do it right now." I'm like, "Oh, fuck me." And she grabs my nuts and tells me to turn my head and cough. And she says, "Your gonads are a little smaller than they should be." What?
Wait, is that your German right there?
That was my. What do you want me to go? 9? I mean, I have no idea.
9
I'm trying
gonads more.
do my gonads, my Hogan's Heroes,
Right.
and it just didn't.
You'll have
Didn't come
small
out right.
gonads.
Did you have small
Okay.
gonads? Yeah, the gonads are a little smaller than they should be. And if I said yeah, I guess it would have been Austrian. I don't know what the fuck
Sounds
accent
like a
I'm doing.
leprechaun with fucking disease.
So okay, so let me start the story again. So I went to the doctor, the diabetes doctor, and she asked me if I had a physical anytime recently. I said no, and it's been a few years. And she said, okay, well, let's do it right now. And then the Lucky Charms man came out and grabbed my nuts and said, your gonads are a little smaller than they should be, yeah. Is that better?
Now he owns a 7-Eleven. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, hold on. Let's go back. So the doctor comes out and says, so have you had a physical recently? And I said, no, it's been several years. He says, oh, let's go and do it right now. So what fucking nationality you putting on that, Wally?
Can you do the sign language doctor instead?
Actually, let me do the Filipino doctor real quick. Hang on.
Jesus Christ.
Here we go.
We're so fucked. We're fucked.
Really?
Did you understand that?
We
Did you
just got canceled.
I don't think that's Phil. Isn't that African?
Tag along, I thought.
Come
But I mean, whatever.
on.
Did you do
what?
Did you do click click snap snap clip or click click snap snap click?
Do you remember the movie Airplane? And they do
Yes,
the scene in
I speak
Airplane where
jive.
they're doing the news part, saying the plane's going to come down, and they've got the one guy, they got Pat Sajak doing it, and then they got another guy doing it, and then they have a guy playing the bongos, and then he just turns to the side when it's a bulletin, and the bongos get a little higher pitch and go.
That is one of the most fantastic satirical movies of all time.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Kentucky Fried Movie was good, but Airplane took it over the top. I mean,
so good.
holy shit.
It's so good. But and by the way, that opened up a whole new arena for Leslie Nielsen, who was in that movie, right?
Because he was serious before that.
Before then, he was a leading man and a very good-looking, handsome leading man kind of guy.
Yeah.
Going way back to 50s black and whites and things.
Well, and you put him and Peter Graves in the same movie, and you got the dueling silver foxes.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
You ever seen the grown man naked?
In a Turkish bath. Oh, it's just good. It's just good stuff. It's
So
fucking
Leslie Nielsen grabbed my gonads at a doctor's office.
I thought you were going to make some reference to the German woman with the sausage-sized fingers trying to give you a little ass fuck.
No. Actually, she did not put her fingers, or she, whatever it was, didn't put their fingers in my asshole. Thank you for asking. But those,
You don't get that, do you? You don't get a part where a doctor sticks their finger up your bum
No.
because you don't have the prostate,
Haven't
so they're
had
not
that.
feeling around.
But I have had. I think I told you guys about this before we were actually recording these sessions and using them for the podcast. The time when my doctor decided that it was time for me to get a colonoscopy, but then instead of doing the colonoscopy, she said I could do Cologuard. Which
when you shit in a box.
when you
Shit in a box.
when you shit in a box, they deliver a box
No.
to your house that says Cologuard on the outside of it, so UPS knows what they're bringing you, and then you have
And
to
UPS
follow
knows
the
what they're taking
instructions.
away, too.
Right, you have to follow the instructions, and you shit in this tray, and then put the tray in the box, and there's a little thing of liquid, and then you take your box of shit to UPS, and the box of shit says Cologuard on the outside of it, so they know at UPS what it is you're handing them in this box. And then you send off your box of shit, and somewhere, wherever that box went, there is a person whose job it is to accept and open your box of shit and do whatever it is they do with your shit in the box.
So two things come to mind. One, it would be horrifying. Does the UPS guy get there with that box and say, "You need any help with this?"
Well, that's why I never open the front door for even deliveries.
And second, I would much rather have the colonoscopy than shit in a box. And I'm dead serious
I
about
don't know.
that.
I mean, I've never had a colonoscopy, but from what I understand, it's not at all pleasant.
It's the
You're
best
asleep.
sleep you'll have. You won't even know that somebody's in your ass.
You're asleep.
Okay, I don't sleep though. Stuff that makes other people sleep does not make me sleep.
Listen, here's the last thing you'll remember when you get that thing done. Roll to your left side. Okay, now count 5. And that's it. You're done. Because they usually sneak in the sleepy stuff.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and
But
you don't know
then
what day or
also,
time it is or what
you-
anybody's saying.
You have to you can't drive yourself there, right? You have to have somebody
Correct.
there. Who's
Yeah,
going to
but-
drive me? The dogs?
The armless lady.
Do
The armless lady.
Do I ask my new armless neighbor if she'll come drive me to get some stuff shoved up my ass?
Absolutely. Call her.
Do I have my
Ask her
friends
to do
take a
it.
day off of work so they can come drive
Oh,
me
they don't need a
around?
day off. Well, listen, you get dropped off. It's usually 6 hours later. You got to get a ride back.
Jesus, that sounds like a lot.
You could get an Uber to do it.
Just gonna shit in a box.
You just call the Uber.
Just gonna-
Uber Eats.
I'm just gonna shit Uber Eats.
Oh,
Just gonna shit in a box in the privacy of my own home and take my shit to UPS.
It's so not private at that point,
Here
though.
you go, UPS. Here's a box of my shit.
Can
Do with
you
it what you
imagine,
will.
though? Can you imagine? Just put yourself in the put the three of us working at UPS, and someone brings in a box that says colonoscopy, whatever it says on it. The jokes we would have.
I'm
gonna
sure.
I just got to say this, and then I think we can leave it at that, okay?
Okay.
What can Brown do for you? Okay? You know, your whole Uber Eats thing, your Uber Eats guy coming over reminds me of this joke that I heard. There's guy goes into a bar, okay? And there's a menu behind the bar on the wall that says hamburger $1, cheeseburger $2, hand jobs $5. And the guy looks at the woman behind the bar and says, "Hey, are you the one that gives the hand jobs?" And she says, "You know I am." And he says, "Well, wash your hands. I want a fucking cheeseburger."
That's perfect.
Oh shit.
Perfect. Speaking of hamburgers,
Yeah.
who of you guys do either of you guys eat fake meat like Beyond Beef or Impossible Burgers or anything like that?
I put enough shit into me that's not regulated. I'd rather not put fake meat in.
I have had the Beyond Burger. I think it tasted really good.
You did?
Yeah.
I think it tastes like shit.
Really.
Yeah,
I think
I've
it was
tried.
Beyond. Whichever one it is they have at, I guess, Burger King, I think.
Impossible.
My friend gets the
Impossible, that's the
Impossible
one.
Whoppers from there. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
one
the
that I had
Impossible Burger.
that I thought tasted good.
Well, good, but not like a hamburger, right?
Well, but
The consistency is just not there.
if you're trying to eat a thing that's supposed to be pretending to be another thing, you're never going to be satisfied if you're comparing it that way. Ask anybody who has
There
ever
are
eaten
so many
anything
places
made out
to
of
go.
cauliflower. Ask
There are
anybody.
so many places to go with if you're trying to eat a thing pretending to be another thing. This sounds like a TV show that should be on Lifetime.
It probably should. Yeah.
That should cost a little more. Too.
This is a bad night at the singles bar is what that is. If you're trying to eat a thing that's trying to be another thing.
If you're trying to eat a food thing that's trying to be another food thing,
okay.
you're never going to be happy
Yeah.
with that. You're never going to
sorry.
be.
That takes me to
That box has
takes
already
me to
been
the
filled.
Hangover. Takes me to the Hangover Part 2, and when the guy looks at the other guy and says, "They don't call the city bang cunt, honey." So remember that.
Oh my gosh. But anyways, so apparently the fake meat industry is starting to fall apart.
What?
Oh,
Yeah, because people just aren't buying into it anymore. The fake meat industry. Because there's all kinds of shit. There's sausages, hot sausage, meatballs.
well,
There's
And I
because
think
it's
the calories are the same, I believe.
and it's so much more expensive.
Yeah.
and there's so much more shit. In a hamburger, there's beef. In an Impossible Burger, there's like 90 different nitrates and this and that.
To try to make it taste like beef.
And 20 other cancer-causing agents, that if you eat a lot of them.
Everything.
I don't
These are things I
Everything.
can't talk about this in my house. Being on a dairy farm, you can't talk about fake meat. Okay, that's like talking about Democrats in that house. You can't do it. Not allowed to do it. You know, same thing. There's 3 things that are off the list talking about in that house: fake meat, almond milk, and Democrats. That's it.
Almond milk is fucking horrible.
I fucking love almond milk.
I like almond milk.
I don't shit myself. I shit myself every time I have
horrible.
milk. Almond milk is great.
It's horrible because, it's horrible because it fucking uses so much water to make. There's like 10 almonds in a half gallon of almond milk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it's water.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes so many, hundreds and hundreds, thousands of gallons to grow a tree of almonds.
Oh, there we
which
go.
California steals from the rest of the country.
Let me tell you.
You did a little thing. You were suddenly max headroom.
You froze up.
With the milk thing, the almond milk thing, I am not going to put 10 almonds and water on my Frosted Flakes in the morning. But you know what? If it's pre-mixed, already white and already in a gallon jug, sure, I'll dump it on my Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
Nobody knows the difference.
Lasts longer than milk.
I've tried the almond milk. I can.
I've not tried oat milk.
Oat milk.
No, neither have I.
Oat milk is horrible.
Oh, that's a shame. It sounds like it would be good.
I think it's horrible. There's something there's such a difference in the. Maybe if I drank like fat-free milk or skim milk, because there's a huge difference in the consistency and the viscosity.
That's the thing
Yes,
again,
there
is
is.
that you're trying to compare this other thing, like this thing that's pretending to be milk.
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 That's like turkey bacon. What the fuck is turkey bacon?
It's not
Not bacon.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
I made some bacon today, and I was thinking as I was cooking the bacon, I could never be Jewish. I love bacon way too much.
Yeah.
I could not. I like meat I like the pork.
God damn it! Now the Jews aren't going to advertise Wally.
I like the ham. I like the pork chops. I like the bacon.
Same.
But you know what else? You know what I do like?
What?
Matzo ball soup and
I
matzo
like
crackers.
matzo ball soup.
Yeah.
I like matzo crackers. I like their Kedem grape juice. That is good shit. You ever had it?
Grape juice.
I think so.
There.
Yeah.
It's their Kedem drink.
It's in their section. It's in their section of the grocery store. Okay.
There's a Jewish section at your grocery store?
Have you never been to Montgomery
we
County,
have
sweetheart?
We have a Jewish section. It's like 3 shelves and about 18 inches of space.
Yeah, and they've got like pickled herring and kipper and all that sort of shit.
I'm in the South. We have an aisle that says
soup.
ethnic food.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on where you are here. If you're at the Kroger or something, it says ethnic food. But if you're at Giant, there is the Jewish food section, and when it comes around the Jewish holidays, they get an end cap as well because they put more stuff out. But the Jewish stuff is next to the I don't know, Mexican Latin food is what they call it, and that's where you can find the bottles. That's the only place you can get them in Giant is in the Latin section.
What do they call it?
Wait, say that again because I think you cut out.
Oh, the Mexican Coke. That's where you get it in the Latin food section of the grocery
bottles
store.
Of Mexican Coke.
So if you want a glass bottle of Coke with, quote Mexican Coke or quote Mexican Sprite or Mexican Fanta.
The difference is made with real sugar.
Exactly.
That's the big
Exactly.
difference.
And when I have my Coke, which I don't have my Coke all the time anymore because my dealer left town. But when I do have my Coke, I want it out of a glass bottle with sugar in it because what the fuck is corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup? It sounds like something they should have put in your ass.
I absolutely want my shit in a glass bottle.
Mm-hmm.
We buy milk in a glass bottle because fucking plastic absorbs everything.
Yes, it does.
Plastic is very porous, and it absorbs every. Look at Jess. She doesn't give a shit. She's laughing at us right now. She thinks we're dopey dum-dum.
I'm not laughing at you.
Yes, you are. I see it in your eyes.
I'm not.
Yeah, I see it in your eyes and in your little slurping of your tea.
I'm just drinking my tea. You can have your milk in a glass bottle if you want to.
Well, I like it in the glass bottle because the fucking plastic, it just tastes like everything. It's like when you buy a little plastic half gallon of milk and you put it in the same area as your
tuna fish
dryer sheets. Suddenly, you're drinking sweet summer scent.
Okay, so I kind of did that the other day. There's a war down here on Sweet and Low. Okay.
Really?
Places have stopped carrying pink Sweet and Low. Everybody's gone to either blue or yellow. So anytime I find pink, I take the pink and I put it in my thing in the front of my car. And the car smelled the other day. It smelled kind of like Ellen's breath. So I went and I got one of those trees, you know. So I got the tree, and the little tree of the new car scent was laying on top of the Sweet and Low. I'm like thinking, okay, not a problem, because it's still in the bag.
Right.
You know, it's still in the plastic bag. Well, I was drinking the iced tea, and I'm pouring this pink shit into it. I'm like, God, this tea is fucking rancid. This is good. So I went to another Dunkin' Donuts about 20 minutes away, got an unsweet tea, poured the stuff in, and it tasted the exact same. And I'm like, these motherfuckers have changed their tea bags, and it's fucking and then I finally realized, common denominator, Jesus Christ, you're drinking new car.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. Fucking plastic is it just sucks all the scent and odors and everything fucking right into it. So yeah, we use glass as much as possible.
Not going to disagree. Coke out of a glass bottle, Coke out of a can, and it's Coke out of a glass bottle, Coke out of a fountain, Coke out of a can, and then a very distant fourth Coke out.
In desperation, it'll be Coke out of a plastic bottle.
Why are you cutting out, Chris? Are you driving?
I am, but I've got 5 bars, so I don't know why I'm cutting out.
Oh, well, you're here now.
Yeah. I can't. I am glass first, aluminum can next, and I don't want any of the rest. And I definitely want my dairy products as much as possible to be in glass. And I will.
What, you don't want a fountain Coke?
Oh yeah, you don't
want fountain Cokes are the best.
Fountain Coke is though, from one place to the next.
That nobody's tastes like McDonald's.
Well,
McDonald's is the best fountain Coke.
There's not enough syrup in it, or there's too much syrup, or it's not bubbly enough, or the bubbles are too small. Or there's such a difference. It's never the same from place to place. Even from the McDonald's to McDonald's, it's not the same. Mm-hmm. They just can't get it fucking the mix done right, because they're either sucking the bottom out of the syrup canister, or they're on the last bit of fucking whatever the mix is for the bubbles. What the hell is that? Carbon, whatever that is.
The dioxide, yeah.
Carbonation. They're on the last bit of that, so you're not getting much carbonation. You're getting a flat fucking, nothing's worse than a flat Coke.
Yeah.
Do you have any weird sodas up there?
Up here?
Yeah, up there, or even in Nashville. Nothing weird?
No, nothing.
Wow.
Oh, well, we have Moxie, which is kind of weird.
Now Moxie, I know Moxie. I'm down in Alabama a couple weeks ago, and I was somewhere, had Cheerwine. You can get Cheerwine around here, and it's fine. It's it's a cherry smash basically. Mm-hmm. But I went to the drive-through at the Sonic down there, and I wanted an iced tea. I got my iced tea because God knows, it's going to be good sweet iced tea in the South. But they had something called Sundrop. I'm like, what is Sundrop? Let's get some. Well, no, mellow. Now this shit, Wally, tasted like somebody jerked off into a Sprite. Okay, it was a salty Sprite. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? And then they had something in the stores and in any vending machine, but I never saw it.
Is that the shit that's replacing Sierra Mist?
No, that's Starry.
Oh, I've seen Starry.
Yeah, and Starry is good. I've had it, and the Starry Zero is surprisingly good.
I haven't tried it yet.
Okay, but down south they've got something called Grapico. You ever seen Grapico? And it's not like a generic thing. It's one of the manufacturers puts it out because I've seen it in machines. I've seen it in a fountain.
Is it Hispanic? Is it a Hispanic soda?
No. It's not Grapico. It's Grapico.
Because I think up here we have like Tropico or something that's like Tropico pineapple and Tropico.
Oh, we get that around here too. We get the bottles of Jarritos.
Yeah. We have Jarritos.
Yeah, I actually saw that in a fountain at a 7-Eleven. Mandarin orange Jarritos.
Now that's serving the community.
Mm-hmm.
That's serving the community.
Absolutely.
Now the big no, we have a lot of Fanta is pretty big up here. Polar's really big.
You still have Polar up there, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, the main manufacturer of Polar is in Massachusetts.
Okay.
And yeah, we still have Polar soda is huge, especially Polar seltzer water.
Ooh, I didn't even know that still existed.
They fucking there are so many seltzer waters. Here's what there's too much seltzer water.
Agreed.
There's fucking 9,000 flavors and 9,000 companies making it, and there's too much fucking yogurt. How much fucking different yogurts do you need?
You know how much yogurt I've had in my life? 0. I have never had yogurt.
Ever?
I looked at it the first time when I was a kid, and I'm like,
Oh, I
fuck
like
this.
yogurt.
The only time I've ever eaten yogurt, this girl I dated, she had 2 daughters, didn't have a lot of money, but they baked potato with sour cream. We can't afford sour cream, so we got Greek yogurt. What the fuck does that even mean? Greek yogurt is not sour cream.
No, and I think Greek yogurt costs more than sour cream.
For
Well,
sure.
not when you
Sour
get in the
cream's
industrial side tub, but yeah.
No, yeah, the fucking an industrial size like if you get a Chobani 32 ounce, that's like $7 or something.
So Chobani is Greek yogurt? Because I don't know what this is. I'm from the...
Listen, they all make... Chobani makes a regular, fruit on the bottom, Greek.
Oh, God.
They all make 4
Chobani
or 5
is
different
Dannon,
kinds.
by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so is... Yeah, they all get their little fancy names.
Yeah. Yeah, Dannon. It's interesting because Dannon makes Greek yogurt and Dannon makes Chobani Greek yogurt.
Right. But people think they're getting, oh, no, I don't eat Dannon. I eat Chobani.
That's
Well,
right.
I got crackers the other day. I got saltine crackers the other day at the bowling alley with my soup. And these people must have been hoarding crackers for years. But, you know, the individual 2-pack things
Yeah.
that
Yes.
you get with your soup, there's 7 or 8 of them. And they were different brands on the front. But on the back, they were all made by Keebler.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
the store brand of almost anything at the grocery store is actually the same as the brand name. They just
Absolutely.
are packaged in different labels.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
It's for sure. There are some marked differences though in some of those. Some of those will have a higher salt content
Sure.
because the store brand, because a Walmart shopper tends to want to have, you know, that I guess less healthy sort of way. So as you know, I do some Instacart shopping for folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people will run away from, you know, oh, I want a can of. I don't think we only buy. There's only 2 things that we buy canned vegetables of in my house: creamed corn when we're going to make shepherd's pie, and lima beans. That's it. Everything else, I like lima beans. Shut up, Jess.
I don't have to shut
I
up.
like them.
You shut up.
No, you didn't even say anything. But again, I saw it in your fucking face.
You mean this face?
Yeah, that face right there.
That's the face that I made when I had a lima
People
bean
will say,
shoved up my ass.
pick
I
up
get
on
it.
say, oh, you need a substitute. They don't have this. They have the kind with no salt in it. Oh no, I can't have it with no salt. Fuck.
What?
Yeah. Oh, no salt. And then the other thing, I bought somebody the other day. They wanted what was it? It was a flour, garbanzo bean flour. Or what's the other name for garbanzo beans?
Oh, chickpea.
Right. So they wanted chickpea flour. And I said, oh, they're out of chickpea flour. I've got your garbanzo bean flour. Oh, no. I have to have chickpea flour. Garbanzo beans are chickpeas. No, they're not. And this person's arguing with me. Yes, they are. Just Bob Mills changed the name of the fucking company, the product, because too many people are idiots like you. You just want to fucking climb through the phone and say, you're fucking dumb.
Hey, the customer is always right.
The customer's almost
especially
never
when
right.
they're buying
That's
their
correct.
overpriced flour that's not flour.
Yeah, the customer's almost never correct. The customer is almost always an asshole, though.
That's why I can never work in a job that has, you know, forward facing to customers, because they will
As an
see my
owner
facial
of-
expressions.
Chris knows for sure, as an owner of a business, we've owned a business. Jody and I had the diner and the rental house and things. customers are almost never right and almost always an asshole. It is their exclusive right to be an asshole and to let you know what kind of asshole you are for not recognizing how right they are. Is this not correct, Chris?
Oh, it's totally right. Somebody got up, bowled a couple of frames one time with their family and says, well, you didn't tell me this wasn't 10 pence, and wanted their money back. Like, wait a minute. You've picked up the fucking ball. You've thrown the ball, hurled it down said lane. Okay. Clearly, you knew what you were getting into as you've already played. But that's fine. Here, have your money back. Please give us 5 stars on Google. Have a good day.
They bowled the whole 10 frames?
I got like 3 into it.
3 frames before they realized.
Before they realized it wasn't 10 pence.
That they didn't have 10 pence.
But I don't even fucking understand. I just don't even understand that.
When Chris and I
they walked in and they saw them that they weren't that they were candle pins.
Yeah, I've got duck pins. 30 fucking lanes.
When Chris and I were on the air together, and one or the other of us would do the traffic report, this was my favorite phone call to get. Yeah, I don't know where you get your information on the traffic report, but you said 270 was backed up because it was shut down. It's not backed up. It's stopped.
Those listeners are always right every time. And I remember when one of those people called and we were sitting in the studio and you said, okay, thanks for calling. And you hit the off button. You said, fucking cunt. And that was it. That was it. That's all that needed to be said.
Regularly.
It's so nice that we can say these behind the scenes.
Regularly.
Yeah.
I heard you say there was an accident on Route 15, but you didn't say it was backed up. What, are you new
There's an accident there on Route 15. You said there's an accident at Big Sword Road. There ain't no Big Sword Road. That's Big Sword Road. That's what I said, you fucking asshole.
One of my favorite calls was always this call. Yeah, hello? Can you tell me why my cable's out? I can't hear you guys. This was before we were on radio, never on cable.
Yeah, that sounds right.
My cable's not coming in.
Also,
can you tell me when you're going to fix it?
Also,
man, this is the radio station.
Hey, you're caller number 10. You won that Tim McGraw CD. Oh my God, I won!
What did I win?
Wow, you're really excited. You must be a big fan of this new album from Tim McGraw. Wait, I didn't win mega tickets?
Now, okay, so we're giving away big tickets one day. It was during one day that you had to quote leave early, and I'm sitting in there. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I'm sitting there. I answer the phone. You know, okay, WFRE, you're caller 9. Congratulations. Fuck. Click. Well, I guess you're not.
Or WFRE, you're caller number 9. You win. Can I make a request?
Yeah, listeners were just most of the time you just didn't want to talk to them.
Not the ones who actually call in.
Yeah, yeah. You just didn't, because their agenda was so far different. I saw something online the other day. A couple days ago, somebody was displaying a winner's sheet, and they had kept track of.
RJ had that.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Did RJ do that?
RJ posted that.
And it was the same person, and they'd won all that shit.
It was a prize pig diary.
Yeah, the prize pig.
What's that, Chris?
It's like they took a 5-year break and then went back. If you look at the dates on it,
something that was something weird. But other than that, they were keeping track, because you can only win once every 30 days, and so
they were hitting it.
I won on this station, and then I won on this station the next week, and then after 30 days, I won on that first station again, and that was insane.
Yeah, that was fucking fantastic, though. It was such a great illustration of people who just make their if they fucking put that much effort into their regular life, they wouldn't have to call the radio station.
Well, I
to
always
win a
figured,
haircut.
as annoying as that was, I always just figured those were people who were lonely or had some kind of, I don't know, hardship or something that we just didn't understand. Like there was a woman that I believe now probably had some kind of mental illness because she would write down every song. Like if we did any kind of countdown, this was when I was in Texas. When I was in Texas,
I've had one of those.
If we did any kind of countdown, whether it be a weekly top 40 countdown or an end of the year top 99 songs of 1999, whatever it was, she would write them all down. And sometimes she would accidentally fall asleep in the middle of the night. So she would miss numbers 99 through, whatever. And so she would call and say, okay, so song 37 was this one. And then song 38 was this one. But then I missed what song 39 was. And she would call regularly so that she could finish her list.
You know what? You needed her to come in and be a part-time employee when it was time to fucking do ASCAP and BMI log.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
That's what you needed. You needed her to come in. That was a fucking pain in the ass, that shit. You had to write down every fucking...
That got easier.
The worst part of it is when you had to do it and all the music was on cart. So you fucking had no idea who fucking sang and wrote the song and published it. What the fuck?
No, you just put the artist down as cart 1024.
Yeah.
And that was fine. That's all you needed.
Until Music Scan, then you could put everything in Music Scan and just print the motherfucker out. But yeah, you know what, Jess? I sort of agree with you there. I mean, listeners could be a pain in the ass, but I also, too, particularly since I worked, my first FM gig was overnights. And I definitely ran into people who you were their only contact outside of their lonely place.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They call and they talk to you. And that's, as a program director, I think, Jess, you probably heard me make this speech that you pick up every call and you answer every call and you treat every call as much as I might bitch and complain about listeners. Fucking was glad they were calling, and I treated all of them respectfully until I hung up the phone and said, what a fucking asshole that was. Right? Because you never know that sometimes that person you really might be their only contact. They might be young or old. They might be lonely. They might be suicidal. You never knew.
Yeah.
So you just gave them the benefit of the doubt because you were... That doesn't, I say this fucking every week, and I wish I wasn't saying this every week, but it just is different now. That was part of what you did as a radio station. You were part of people's lives.
Yep.
You really were. You interacted with them like they were friends or family, and they did the same thing. And that's why sometimes they seem like an asshole, because they talk to you like you were their friend or brother or relative,
like they know you well enough to talk to you
like they
that
knew
way.
you really well that they could say certain shit to you, like, oh, how do you know about my kids or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, it's because I talked about it and because they paid attention. That's why
they connected with it in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. And that meant we were doing our job, and so then you couldn't just give up. As soon as you close the mic, you couldn't give up on your job. Your job still existed as long as you were in the building.
Exactly.
And you're right.
I answered every phone call. 1999, Mix 107.3 in DC. And there was a normal cast of characters that would call the phones, in addition to the, quote, normal listeners.
Sure, there were people whose voices you recognized as soon as you answered the phone.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like up in Frederick, we had Chuck. We knew when Chuck was calling.
Hagerstown Joe.
Yeah. You always knew when these people were on the line.
Yeah.
We didn't have caller ID. You picked it up, knew who it was.
Yeah.
But this guy in D.C., his name was Lou. I'll never forget this because I'm like imagining this staunch Italian man, Lou Von Rego. And I'm like, Well, so he talked to me, and this guy was gay before, it was cool to be gay and everything. And he was, flaunting it. And he tried to pick me up a few times, and that's great. I wasn't having any of it. And he said, Merry Christmas. What's the address of the radio station? I'm like, what the fuck's he going to break in? So I gave him the address of the radio station. A couple days later, I look in my box. There is a Christmas card in there. And inside the Christmas card is this whole handwritten thing about how he lusts for me and people don't understand him But now, as my illiterate brother would say, the coup de grace here is that the front of the card was a drawing of Santa Claus, the most beautifully done drawing of Santa Claus who had no pants and a huge cock.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So at that point,
portrait of Santa.
I stopped answering the phone a lot after that. I actually had caller ID put in, and I answered selected calls at that point, and I no longer answered calls from the lustful Lou Von Rego.
Do you remember, Chris, I don't know that I could call him a stalker, but he had stalker potential at
Which one?
FRE, the guy that would send me emails telling me that I seemed like I would be a good time to party with?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this guy he sent me an email one day and he said, "Hey, you seem like you'd be, a lot of fun to hang out with. You seem like you'd be a real party. I'd love to get a drink sometime." And I said, and then he said something like, "I always try to get through to play the contests or answer trivia questions and I never can get through." And I had a pretty standard policy across the board, which was if a man or a woman, whichever the case may be, tried to hit on me, because of what I do for a living, I would just sort of ignore that and address the rest of it. So the only part of his email I answered was, "Hey, thanks for listening. Keep trying on the contest. Maybe you'll get through." Yep. And so a month goes by and he sends me another email that says, "Hey, you seem like you'd be a good time to hang out with. I'd love to get a drink. Here's my number." And so since I could tell he wasn't going to take a hint, I just responded, "I'm very flattered. Thank you, but I have to say no." I didn't make any excuses. I didn't say I had a boyfriend, anything like that. I just have to say no.
And as that second one comes in, I'm sitting on the other side of the board from Jess, and Jess is like, "Come here, fucking look at this."
Word for word, the same as the
that.
first email, except for the trivia question part.
Yeah.
So a month later, he sends me another email that says, "You seem like you'd be a great time to party with. I'd love to get a drink sometime. Here's my number." I stop responding and create a folder in my email that says stalker. And I say to Chris, if anything happens to me, send the police to this folder in my email, because this is who it is. And he keeps getting, he gets a little bit more persistent, And then one day while I'm on the air, I get a phone call on the request line, and it's some guy, and he's like, "Hey." And I'm like, "Hey, how can I help you?" Or "What's going on?" Whatever it was. I was just, being friendly.
Right.
It's the request
Yeah.
line. And he said, "Oh, nothing. Just getting off of work, heading for the house."
Like he knows you.
Cool.
Is it fucking Buffalo Bob here or what?
What can I do for you? "Oh, I just wanted to say hi." "Okay, well, gotta run." The next day, I get an email from the guy that says, the subject line says, "Our talk last night." And that's when it becomes clear that that's the guy that called me,
Oh, man.
acting like he was checking in with me after work, like he was my boyfriend or something. And so I'm
Yeah.
starting to get a little bit more skeeved out, but I can't, he hasn't done anything wrong. I can't report him to anyone.
Right.
And then it was Halloween, and I was on the air asking listeners what they thought I should be for Halloween. And at this point, I had done this ridiculous diet on the air. I apologize to anyone who followed me through that.
That shit you got me fucking sucked in on when I had to go to the goddamn clinic and get those, not shots, but the
nose spray.
What the nose spray. What the fuck was that?
I apologize to anyone who followed me into that.
Jess,
I need you to know,
nose
Chris.
spray.
I need you to know, Chris, that I no longer participate in any of that bullshit. But at the
We'll come
time,
back to that after.
at
Yeah,
the time,
go ahead.
I was still participating in that bullshit, and I had lost a lot of weight. Not in a
you
healthy
did.
way, not in a good way. I probably actually lost too much. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I had lost a bunch of weight, and I'm asking listeners on the air what they think I should be for Halloween. And this guy emails me and says, "With all of that weight that you've lost, you should be a naughty nurse or a naughty teacher or a naughty schoolgirl." And I just was like, this is gross.
It's really gross.
And one of the few times I can say the shithead I ended up marrying actually did something good was when he said, forward that email to me. And I did. And the guy was emailing me from his work email address. So Shithead looked up the guy's business, found the number of everybody on the board at that business, replied to the guy and copied everybody on the board and any other position of power that he could find at that company, and just replied to the guy and said, she's already told you no. She's already expressed that she's not interested. If you continue to contact her, we'll pursue whatever.
Right.
It's basically
Right.
a threat. And the guy responded immediately and said, so sorry, man, I had no idea. I won't contact her again. And then his job contacted Shithead and said,
right.
we need to know what happened. And I was like, nope. I'm not gonna give them the whole story and get that guy fired and have him show up at the radio station and shoot me. So we're just, as long as he leaves me alone, we're gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, I don't think people understand that radio folks, again, in the past, because radio folks were much more out there and much more reachable. And did Chris make weird noises?
Yeah, I think he was trying to talk, but he was cutting out at the same time. You there?
Radio folks were so much more approachable back then that you were sometimes under some serious fucking threat.
Yeah.
From wackadoodles.
There was a guy, Wally, when I was working at Kiss with you. Do you remember the guy who would call all the other? He would send me flowers, and he would call all the other jocks on the air and ask them.
I remember you getting flowers
if they thought that there was a chance between him and me.
I don't remember that, but I do remember you used to get flowers from some.
He's
stranger.
The reason I stopped using my real name on the air.
See, that shit's scary.
Mm-hmm.
It also jeopardizes, real family. I mean, real life.
Yeah.
It jeopardizes your situation. Chris, you've been stalked? You're back.
So this girl was calling me on the request line in 1996 at Wink in Winchester. And this girl would call me, and she told me her name was the Psycho Stalker Girl. Okay.
She said that was
and
her
I'm
name?
Like, oh, this is cool. That she said that was her name.
Okay.
I finally got out of her that her name was Stacy. Okay. And, Stacy and I, we got together a few times, and she wouldn't leave me alone. Got married to the first wife, wouldn't leave me alone. Was emailing me, and remember AOL Instant Messenger?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was hitting me on that. My name used to be Tater Stud, and she was hitting me. Just shut up. Just shut up. And she was Tater Stud. Yeah.
How you doing, Tater?
She got me on that, and she was sending very vivid pictures to my work email that somehow she found the address to that wasn't related to radio. Okay.
Like graphic pictures?
Oh, graphic as fuck. I mean, we're talking spread eagle. Okay. And
by the way, there's nothing very attractive about that.
Well, there's nothing very attractive about it. Very pixelated with a late 90s camera as well. Okay. So it's like, hold on. I think that's a box, but I'm not sure if that's a box. But the color's right, but there's a box on the box, so I'm not sure.
Some sort of wig involved.
I have no idea. Are you wearing mohair panties, honey? No. So I want you to flash forward to 2 weeks ago when she attempted to friend me on Snapchat.
What?
Door.
On Snapchat, because I recognized her screen name from years ago, because you don't forget this shit. And there it was, Stizzy L. And I'm like, oh my fucking God.
Are you Tater Stud on Snapchat?
No, I'm not. It's just my last name on Snapchat.
Did she send you one of her pictures that looked like Shaft?
No. She sent me a picture of her 3 kids, though.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Did she say any of them were yours?
No. None of which are mine. None of them resemble my skin tone, so it really couldn't happen.
Gotcha.
But they were, lovely children, and I wish her the best in her future endeavors.
Well, Oh, go ahead.
Hold on. I want to get back to Frederick here.
Okay.
There's 2 things. Okay. Wally, I learned, you didn't have to learn this with Jess, but I learned not to leave my Facebook logged in on the studio computer when Jess is next And I get this reminder once a year in my Facebook memories that comes up and simply says, Chris Roth is watching Say Yes to the Dress.
I think I went pretty easy on you.
Oh, no. And then it was the next day. This is what happens when Chris Roth leaves his Facebook logged in when he's at work. And I'm like, son of a bitch, this could have gotten really fucking bad. But let's talk about the nose spray, because the last time I lost weight with anything in my nose, it was cocaine. Okay. But so
have you tried meth?
Just no, I leave that to other folks. And I value my teeth too much. But Jess was doing this weight loss thing, as she said. And look, you looked great. There's absolutely no fucking question about it. But I don't know what the fuck this. She's like, yeah, go talk to these people. First thing you got me on was the science of slim. You remember that?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
That was something that you got me on first. You're like, read this and then talk to these. So I read that.
Oh, that was that book. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then she had me go and talk to these people that she was doing the endorsement for. And I walked in and I said, yeah, I'm at WFRE. Oh, you know Jess? Yeah. Still charge me full fucking price, but I got it. Team player. And so it was this shit that was some sort of pheromones.
It was a hormone. It was the
Oh my fucking word.
Supposed to put up your nose.
Yeah.
And inhale it like it's fucking Visine or not Visine, whatever the fucking nose candy is.
Flonase.
And Flonase. There you go. And go. And you're supposed to lose weight on it. Well, I mean, I guess the combination of putting that shit in your nose and following any normal fucking diet plan, you're going to lose weight.
Well, okay. It wasn't even I can't say one way or the other whether the shit that we inhaled actually had any effect, because we were starving ourselves.
That's exactly right.
So I don't know that there's anybody who 20 years ago was doing radio, if there's any, particularly any female, who wasn't approached by a general manager saying, would you go on this diet? Herbalife, Nutrisystem.
Yep.
There was
Jenny Craig.
A dozen of them. There was a dozen of them.
That Herbalife shit, I had a friend making $300 a read on that.
Yeah. But it was always the same. Let's go get let's go get the pudgy person on staff, whether it be the morning show guy or the midday girl or the overnight person. Let's go find the pudgy fuck and get them on a diet, and then they can do fucking testimonials about how good this shit was and not get paid shit for it, right?
Yeah. I will say I don't have a whole lot of regrets in life, because things happen the way they happen, and you learn from it and you move on. But I regret participating in all of these fucking on-air diets as much as I did, and falling into that shit, because I now
yourself.
I won't get onto a whole tangent about diets and how they're literal bullshit.
They are.
But I feel like I did a lot of damage to people who listened to me and followed me through that. And so I do really regret participating in that. I'm
going to agree with you 100%, because I think that whole fucking diet thing, again, working off the relationship of the air personality and the listener, is so fucking disgusting to convince people that for some reason they are less than and they should participate in, and because they've got extra weight, they need to lose it, so they need to do this.
And there's so much irresponsibility in all of that, because people who are telling you to go on diets, for the most part, do not have the qualification to tell you, regardless of how big you are. I don't care. I was just having this conversation with my mother yesterday, and she said, well, unless they're those 1,000-pound sisters on TV. No, there is no body size that causes you health problems. There is only lifestyle and maybe nutrition choices, but the size of your body is not what causes the health problems. And because if that were true, then thin people wouldn't also be getting heart disease and diabetes.
That's exactly right.
Which means that me going on the radio to tell you that you need to lose weight, and you need to do it by taking this hormone and starving yourself, is so fucking irresponsible.
Right. It's not helpful.
Even
it's just
most doctors don't study nutrition. They're not actually qualified to tell you that you need to eat this many calories and lose this many pounds.
I think it's physically and psychologically damaging.
Yes, absolutely.
Well,
and so it's taken me 50 years, but I finally have decided to say fuck off to diet culture, and I'm not participating in that
It
anymore.
preys upon people who have low self-esteem.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
who believe
okay.
that they're somehow fractured.
Yeah.
Or they're somehow, not normal.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had the diet endorsement. Okay, well, I didn't have the diet endorsement. Jess did. I fell into the trap. Okay, not a problem. I still love you. It's okay.
Thanks.
Here's one.
Sorry again.
Here's one. That's okay. When I got to Raleigh, they wanted to do, I'm program director and I'm doing middays. And they want me to do an endorsement for some dating site, which was actually a computer dating service called It's Just Lunch.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Except I'm doing midday, so who the fuck is getting lunch? Okay?
Right.
So what they're doing is the endorsement deal is, okay, I'm getting paid for the spots. I get to go out on free dates with women, and then I have to talk about the date on the air the next day.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
No.
Okay, so basically I'm not dating. I've got test subjects that I'm going out with. And I went out with, I don't know, three women before I finally said, you know what, this just isn't right. This just isn't right. And each one of them ended in a disaster. One of them tried to sell me insurance. And one of them violently threw up after drinking too much red wine. But my most favorite was this girl who was a sex therapist and fiery red hair, and she was from Rochester, but she was working in Raleigh. And I'm like, oh my, this is going to be fucking fun. And we go to this restaurant, we sit down, and this girl I dated previously happened to be a waitress, and we were at her table. And she decided to come over and sit down at the table and tell fiery redhead, whose name was Tony. Even her name was Tony, and she was Italian. It was like, fuck yeah. And decided to tell Tony everything vividly about what we had gone through.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, this is fucking swell. I'm glad I can ruin a few lives.
Yeah. Great.
How can you even be honest in your response? Like, you can't get on the air and go, man, let me tell you
Let me
what.
tell you about this
I
shit.
dated Tony last night. This fucking girl eats like a fucking horse, mouth open, just knock. Her BO was incredible. You can't, all you can say is, oh, yeah, I had a fabulous time. It was great.
It's like you were fucking listening.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was. Hey, it's Chris Roth for It's Just Lunch. And listen, I went out on a date last night with a nice young lady. And the restaurant we went to was saying, hey, you can go to It's Just Lunch too. All you got to do is call 919, fuck your mother. And you too.
And I hope you don't get raped.
Yes.
Or murdered.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you do, listen,
that's
that's part of
the end of that bullshit.
That's the bonus package if there's a rape or murder involved.
And on that note,
Good God.
we've
Okay,
been,
so listen. Are we done?
yeah, well, I mean, we've been talking for almost an hour and a half, so.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So next
That was a
week,
solid hour and a half.
I just want to add that we still need ratings and reviews on Apple Podcast.
Yeah,
So we haven't
so
gotten any
rate
new
us and
ones since
review
the
us.
last time we talked.
Nothing, no new ratings or reviews?
No, and there's several people who I know have said that they've done it, and those are not showing up. Like, I don't see one that I would think is from Jody.
Yeah.
My friend Laura said she did one. I'm pretty sure it's not on there.
The
So
girl she works with said she did. I saw that the two girls she works with, two women. They're not girls. They're
How
women.
do you get to Apple Podcasts? Is it on Apple Music?
yeah, and it's on iTunes.
You know what?
Yeah,
Hold on one
getting
second.
Tater
Apple
Tater
Pod-
Spud has not left any ratings or reviews.
Where's my Apple Music? Let's see
But
right there.
getting to the podcast on Apple Music is something.
I think there's. I don't know if it's on Apple Music or if Apple has its own podcast app.
It's so hard to.
But I know for
navigate
sure
that
it's on
fucking
iTunes.
website.
I
Yeah.
can't even find iTunes.
The
How the fuck
iTunes
do I get to
website is hard to
iTunes?
navigate. The iTunes website is hard to navigate. Their fucking website is. That's why they got those fucking stores in the mall.
Okay, iTunes Store, open.
What are those people called? What are those fucking brainiacs called in the iTunes stores in the mall, the Apple store? What do they call those people? Have you ever seen? You must have seen those. What are
Aren't
those?
they like geniuses or something like that?
Fucking like that. I think they're called assholes.
What are we on? CHEEZ?
Yeah, you don't know how to spell the name of our podcast?
CHEEZ hyphen?
There's no hyphen.
No hyphen.
Just CHEEZ.
W.
When I type CHEEZ, it says Cheese Whiz and Cheese Wizard.
No, wits, cheese.
No,
wits.
I know what we are.
Well,
But I'm looking here. Podcasts. There's The World Is Yours. Hold on. Podcast. Here we go. Let's see.
It's not an easy.
I don't even see us in here.
We are. I've seen us in there myself.
I have.
Did you try typing the whole name of the podcast?
Hold on. WITS?
Yeah, BS. Yeah.
There it is.
Eh.
Cheese Wits Podcast.
Probably it doesn't pop up because we
button.
only have 10 ratings and 4 reviews or 5.
To continue, download podcasts from the App Store. Okay, just show me the goddamn podcast episodes. There we are. Queso emergency, pull my finger. I can download all of these.
Queso emergency, pull my finger.
Let's see, cheesy trip. No, I don't want to download it. Just show me the Cheese Wits page podcasts.
What happens at the top of the search result where you just tap on the name of the podcast?
It asks you to download the. God, I feel like my father with a fucking smartphone. God damn fuck. Hang on a second. Apple Podcasts. Download Apple Podcasts. I don't want you to edit actions. I want you to fucking download the goddamn podcast.
Yeah, you need my friend Gail to help you, obviously.
Gail!
That's what you fucking need.
Gail, you fucking cunt. All right, what's new in podcasts? I don't need that. All right, I'd like to type in...
Maybe this is why we don't have more ratings and reviews.
CHEEZW.
I told you. Remember I told you something before.
The Cheese Wits. There it is. Okay, stay up to date. Latest episode. Updated weekly. It's this is a comedy, huh?
It is. It is.
Let's see. Write a review.
There you go.
Okay, tap to rate 5 stars. Write a review.
What do you want?
5
iTunes?
stars. Yes. These fucking people.
And store?
What a great show. Great for the entire fucking family. 5 stars. Enter a nickname. Your nickname will be displayed next to any reviews you write. Okay, CHEEZW Cheese Wits.
Something?
No, Cheese Wits Stalker. That's going to be me.
Okay, not Tater Stud.
And there it is. Hey, thanks for your feedback. It says 10 ratings, 5 out of 5. There you go.
So
I fucking have I have no idea how to even. I'm going to try to sign in after we're done because I'm looking at it and I can't fucking figure it out.
all right. Well, if you're listening, give us ratings and reviews, please. Bye.
Bye.
Yo.